started a new program that I'm calling UiPath 15 Collections Arrays Part 2. In the last video, we assigned the array variable values in the variables panel. In this video, we're going to look at some other options for getting our data into an array. The first thing I'm going to do is create the variable ARR_fruits. I'm going to make this a data type of array of t, which will make a string. And we'll leave the scope as main, or the entire workflow. Now at the top, I'm going to add an assign, and I'll put ARR_fruits into the to variable. And in the set value, I'll paste in the same as the previous video: oranges, grapes, apples, and pears. Now that's not really much different than the last video. So to add something new to this video, we're going to use a join to log out the values in our array. I'm adding in a log message, and I'm going to make this log message a header to show us what we're printing out, which will be the contents of ARR_fruits. We'll make the log level info, and we'll make the name of this activity log ARR_fruits header. Now I'll add out the log message with the join. And our message will start off with string.join, then the left parent. Then I'm going to add the separator I'm going to use inside of double quotes. So I'll put in double quote, comma, space, double quote. That's our separator. Now a comma, and then the array that we want to print out, which is ARR_fruits, and we'll finish with the right parent. I will make this one info as well, and update this activity name to be log ARR_fruits using join. Let's also update this assign up here to be assign string variables to ARR_fruits. This should be good. Let's run it. And down in the output, we see the contents of ARR_fruits, and then it shows us all our string variables in the array: oranges, grapes, apples, and pears, which is great, but I want each of these to be on a separate line. So I'm going back to our join, and after the comma space, I'm going to add plus VBLF, which is for Visual Basic Line Feed. Now this will work in the output window, but if we were printing out to a text file, we would have to use that environment value with the new line. So let's run this and see how it works. And here we go. We see contents of ARR_fruits, oranges, grapes, apples, and pears, each on a new line. So that worked out just the way we wanted. I'm going to add in a new sequence, and I'll call this one array2. And in this sequence, we're going to look at another way of populating our array. I'm going to create the array right now. ARR_fruits. We're going to make this, we'll make this one an array of string, which is already in here because we just used it in the last workflow. And the scope will be the entire workflow array2. Now I'm going to add in an assign and update the activity name to be set array fruits to hold 4 strings. In the to variable, we will add in ARR_fruits, and in the set value, I'm going to paste in new string, left parent 3, right parent, and then open and closed curly braces. Why am I using 3 instead of 4 for this array? Because UiPath is 0 based, and we count 0 as one of the numbers. So assigning an array of 3 allows us to hold 4 values. In general, with UiPath, when we use an array, we want to use it with a specific number of values. Like we're doing right here, we're setting it to 3. If we're going to be adding and removing items from our collection, we will want to use a list instead of an array. And we'll look at lists in a future video. So now we have our array set to hold 4 string values. I will assign them using a multi-assign. I will add in 4 values. The first one, I will paste in ARR fruits sub 0. For the second one, I will paste in array fruits sub 1, then array fruits sub 2, and lastly, array fruits sub 3. And I'll give these some values: oranges, grapes, apples, and pears. And once again, I will log out the items in the array using a join. And because I keep using the same array name, I can go over to the main workflow and I can copy these bottom 2 log messages, copy, and paste them into the bottom here. And let's run this to make sure it's working okay. Because I copied over the log messages from the main, the output looks exactly the same. We can tell it's from this workflow because we see the array 2 up here at the top and here at the bottom. I have one more sequence example that I want to show in this video, and that is how to read the contents of a text file and put that into an array. I will create a new sequence, array from input file, and click create. The first thing I'm going to do is create my variable ARR fruits and make that a data type of string array. Leave the scope for the entire workflow. And now I'm going up to the Explorer window where I will right click and add a folder. I'll call it data. And inside of this new folder called data, I will add a file, and the file name will be fruitsin.txt. Now notice when I clicked enter, it opened up the fruitsin.txt file. And inside this file, I will paste in oranges, grapes, apples, and pears. I'm going to press Control S to save this and then close it. So we've created our input file and we've created our array variable. And I'm going back over to the activities where I'm going to add in the activity read text file. Going to double click to add that in. And then I'm going to click on use a file resource. And that shows the folder here that I'm going to click on, which brings us into our current working folder where I see data that I just created and the fruitsin.txt file. I'll open that, and that goes into what we're going to read in the text file. Now we want to read this into a variable that will be the output of our read text file. So here I'm going to press Control K to set a new variable that I will call str for string underscore fruits in. And pressing enter creates it down in our variables down here. I'm going to update the name of the activity to be read in list of fruits into a string. And I'm going to log out what we just read in. I want to log out a header of what's going to come below, which is the string fruits in. We'll make that a log level of info, and I'll update the log message title to be log string fruits in header. Then I'll add another log message to log the string fruits in values. We'll make this one an info and update the activity name to be log string fruits in. Let's run this and see what the output looks like. We see our header string fruits in, and then it shows oranges, grapes, apples, and pears, all on separate lines. So we know each line has an invisible line break character at the end of the line. Knowing this will help get the data into an array. To put the contents of this string variable into an array, I'm going to add an assign, and I'll update the assign activity name to be convert string fruits into ARR fruits. So in our to variable, we're going to add ARR fruits. And in the set value, I'm going to click the plus sign and open an expression editor. In the expression editor, I'm going to paste in the value string fruits in dot split. I'll make this a little bigger so we can see it by holding down Control and pressing the plus sign. Now we can see I pasted in str fruits in dot split. And we're going to split wherever we see an environment dot new line value. And then the other part here is saying remove empty entries. I'll click Save to save this. And now we've got the data into our array. To print it out, I'm going back over to our array2 and copy these two log messages. And let's run this. And down in the output window, we see the string fruits in, and then down the contents of the array fruits. And we've got the comma space line break that we added in here. So everything worked just as expected. In the next video, we will continue looking at arrays for UiPath.